All right, everybody. Scott Pierce here, Listings to Leads. Welcome to the call. We are going to be going over how to market listings to get buyers and sellers. So let's just give it a quick minute. Let everybody get in here. In the meantime, go ahead and type in where you're coming in from. Let me know what city, state, broker you're coming from, and if you did any movement today. Did you any exercise, or you plan on doing any later today? Recovering from a knee injury, a couple of knee injuries, and I just got back into walking. So started about a week ago, and I'm telling you, man, in a week you can get a lot of good strength. I'm telling you. The first day was maybe last Monday, maybe last weekend, like 8 or 9 days ago. Did a mile. Oh my God, I felt so weak. Anyways, did 5 miles Saturday, did 5 miles yesterday, did 2 miles this morning. And yeah, it's crazy. Just go slow, take it easy. You're not trying to kill yourself. If you got good knees that you can run with, good for you. Good for you. So, but yeah. Hopefully I'm working back up to rucking. I got it's like a ruck vest, where it's like a vest and you put some plates in it. And I was actually up to 40 pounds. I did 5 miles with 40 pounds. And then I injured my knee playing Frisbee with my son. And I was out for about 3 months where I couldn't even barely walk. And yeah. So anyways, yeah. Good day from sunny Los, like 2 years ago. Yeah, oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I was actually down in Tijuana doing stem cell therapy a couple of different times. And that I was 2 years where I couldn't walk. I could walk, but just so much pain. And thank God that's over with. But then it was about a year after that, I was playing Frisbee, sprinting for a catch. Dude, I went down in a clump of like a sack of potatoes. And then I was in bed for like 3 months. And so anyways, and then, man, when you're dealing with injury and pain, it sucks. It just takes a lot out of you. And so even after about a month or two of being able to walk, I was just not in the mood. And finally I just got my lazy butt in gear. And, the first few times it's absolutely sucks, but week into it, feeling good, excited about it. So anyways, let's, 9:03. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you everybody for joining us. Good to see everybody. I do want to make a quick announcement. If you go to leadgenwebinars.com, again, that's leadgenwebinars.com. Let me drop that in. And we got a couple of special guests coming up. I want to just alert you to. On July 28th, Gordon Day will be joining me, and I'll be referring to him a few times in this call. He's really the only agent I've ever hands-on worked with, and just kind of managed him a little bit, helped him out. Some of you may have seen. In fact, I put a link into the chat here. If you're watching this on recording, you can go to listingstoleads.com/blog. And if you scroll down and find this post, or you can search for it in the search field, struggling with Facebook ads, there are a couple of interviews on here. And so Gordon's going to be joining me on the 28th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. East Coast time. And there's a couple of interviews here. One is with the client, Craig Johnson, who's kind of running at like an 8 to 15 ROI. And then Gordon right here, how he talked about looking to give up real estate at the end of 2024. And absolute happenstance, he was actually one of our oldest clients, in and out of Listings to Leads for the last 15 years. So 15 years, had success. You get off track. It's just like with knee injuries and everything else that you got going on in life, or you get distracted. Other things come up. You forget what you were doing that brought you the success. So he re-signed back up to Listings to Leads. I saw that. I got a hold of him. And long story short, we started working together. And he's now at the point where he is getting and engaging new leads every single week. Every single week, he's getting new leads coming in. In fact, last week, he got a couple of buyer leads, and with a home to sell that have committed to working with him. Absolutely phenomenal. And then right below those posts, those two posts from Gordon, is an interview with Gordon. And I cannot recommend this interview enough. This is an absolutely fabulous interview where we talk about Facebook ads, marketing, and also follow up. And obviously, follow up is such an important thing. It's one thing to generate leads, but it's another thing to connect and engage with them. And he just walks through a very simple plan. You'll hear Yi. We'll talk a little bit about the follow up as well. And if you scroll down, there's a third video. This is a quick 5 to 6 minute video where I walk you through how to do a Facebook ad so that you don't mess it up. All right. I don't want you wasting your time. I don't want you wasting your money. But here's the thing. If you're going to be doing Facebook ads, you've got to be utterly consistent. And I would highly recommend you follow the way we do it, because that is what Gordon is doing. That is what Craig is doing. That is what Yi is doing. And they are all getting great leads every single day, but not every single day, but you know what I mean? They are talking to people every day, and they're getting great leads every single week. Talking to I'll tell you, last week, a somewhat long-term client, been with us for over a year. And he's like, Scott, I'm not able to engage any of my leads. And I went and I looked at his account, and in the last 2 to 3 months, he's only run 3 ads. That would be me saying to my, if I was working with a trainer, that'd be like me saying, hey, I'm not getting big. And then he looks, he goes, well, Scott, you've only come to the gym 3 times in the last 3 months. It doesn't work that way. You got to stay consistent in everything. So I hope I can instill that with you today, but we are going to be talking about general marketing and all the great ways Listings to Leads can help you easily, following a checklist that we've got, following the pattern, the blueprint that we have. But the key is absolutely staying consistent. Even when you don't have a listing, listings are one of the key pieces. Listings are your inventory. All right. Listings are inventory. People in the market, your audience, the buyers, the sellers, they are the customers, they are the clients. And if we don't have inventory to share with our audience, then we're really missing out on one of the best and easiest and actually cheapest ways of engaging people. So follow what we're going to talk about today. And keep in mind, every single week, whether you got a listing or not, you need to find a listing to borrow, find a listing to market. I know I was just with another long-term broker client of ours, Derek Carlson, down at Realty One Group MVP in Florida. And shoot, oh my God, where was I going with that? Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. So down with him, talking to his whole company, amazing people down there. And one of the things that he said, which is so awesome, and hopefully you got a broker like this as well, which is any listing in our office, any agent has permission to market. And I know some of you are in companies that are the same way. All right. There are companies out there that let you, as an agent, market any listing in that company. So I want you to make sure that you are every single week finding a good listing. So a listing that is in the meat of the market, a listing that is in a price point that is moving. So we want to make sure that the listing that we're going to market this week, not too expensive, not too low in price, based on your market and your business. Now, if you got the listing where you're the listing agent, well, you got to market it, because we want to get that listing sold. So we're going to walk through that today as well. But even when you don't have a new listing to market every single week, you got to find one. Because if you follow the Listings to Leads blueprint for marketing listings, your life is going to become so much easier. Gordon literally canceled 4 to 5 other programs that were, sounded great. And we're going to connect them. We're going to have this and that happen. And, he went from spending thousands, like 3 to 4 or 5,000 a month in programs, to now CRM and Listings to Leads, and putting money in the ads and putting money into a few other things with marketing and Listings to Leads. It's not that complicated. I know there's a lot of vendors, there's a lot of people, they want to overcomplicate things. He doesn't do any social media. He's not doing any of that kind of stuff. And he's got over $2.5 million in contract, and he's getting new buyers and new seller leads every single week. every single week by following a very simple playbook. And that's what we're going to cover today. And at the very end of this, I'll just mention there is a 10 commandments of Facebook ad strategy. I don't need to cover this because it's absolutely simple and straightforward. Just go ahead and take a look at it later on. And with that, let's go to Listings to Leads. And I would love to have you guys log into your account while we're doing this. So if you got the ability, if you got the listing in your account, now if you don't have the listing in your account, listings should be coming in automatically from a data feed. You can also grab listings, which I'll point out to you as well. So let's log in. And actually, let me go back to the dashboard. So when you log in, you're going to land on the dashboard like you see. Give it a second here. There we go. So you'll land on the dashboard here, and you're going to see any ads you've got running. You're going to see your listings. And I don't know why my computer's a little slow this morning, but let that pop up. While we're waiting for that, there we go. Let me show you my single property website, because a lot of people, when your listing comes into Listings to Leads, we automatically create your single property websites, the virtual tours, the ads, the posts, the emails, the scripts, the short form video scripts, QR codes. We got sign writers, so text codes, so much great stuff for you. And it's all automatically created. So sometimes we'll get somebody and they'll say, well, how do I create my single property website? Well, your single property website's already created. And if you got video, you can add video like you see here. Beautiful full screen single property website. I got my property description. You can schedule a tour. I got all my property details. I got my professional photos. You can even add 3D tours. So if you got Matterport or something else, you can add that in addition to all the other great stuff. If you do community tours, or if you got community videos, or really any kind of video that you think might be appropriate. So for example, you may have a video how you work with buyers. You may have a video how do you work with sellers. You can add those to your Listings to Leads account, get to the mastermind group, get with our support team for more information on that. Your 100-point home marketing plan will be in here as well. And I just absolutely forgot to mention something earlier on this. Back at our training calendar, I mentioned Gordon Day is going to be joining us on the 28th. Well, on the 31st, if you scroll down at leadgenwebinars.com a little bit further, on Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon East Coast time, a broker client of ours from Florida, she will be joining us, and she is winning every listing presentation she's going on using that 100-point home marketing plan. All right, so the complete marketing plan to get your home. Oh, where'd I go? Right there. So you've got that in your Listings to Leads account. You can create them for a specific listing presentation that you're going to go on, so that every single image in the 26-page marketing plan is of their home. And on a few of the pages are QR codes where the homeowner can scan. And when they do, the single property website with a picture of their home comes up right on their phone. And I'm telling you, it's one of the best ways to get that listing agreement signed, because they are looking literally at your marketing on their phone. It looks beautiful. And with the entire 26 pages, there's the PDF, there's a flip book. You're gonna dominate more listing presentations. And that's one of the things I tell even new clients of ours, get into that, because when you go through and you familiarize yourself with that listing presentation, you're going to learn more about the marketing platform and how to market listings. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that we are the best, the top, the most comfortable listing agents out there, so that we are excited about going to a listing presentation. We're confident when we go into a listing presentation, because we know we've got a marketing plan that's going to knock their socks off. And if they're interviewing anybody else, we're just going to look so much better, because most agents come into a listing presentation and they may have like a 1-page or a 2-pager. And oh my gosh, I've seen some of these from other top agents even, and it's all about them, right? Their listing presentation is all about how they're number one, about how they're this, how they're that, but they don't really get into all of the stuff that they're going to do to market that listing. Isabel, yes, I did. And in fact, I think I've got, maybe I don't. But yeah, if you go to Amazon and you just type in thermal binding machine, it's the one for $57. It should come up near the top. It did when I did it. You can also get to the mastermind group, or a little bit later in this call, I can bring that up. I went to Amazon, thermal binding machine, and it's pretty good. Now, if I was going to go, so the one I use the thermal binding machine if I was going to go after expireds or FSBOs. A lot of people do that. For a listing presentation, what I do is I use a leather binder, and I got to go buy a new one because the last one I had, I lost it. When I went to Florida to do some training, I left it in the Airbnb, and they found it, but I'd already was on the way to the airport. So it really didn't make any, and doesn't make any sense for them to send it to me. It'd be more expensive than just to go buy a new one. And in fact, someone said, I can't remember who, someone said in a call last week, it was that going to Office Depot was actually very, very cost effective. In fact, he said it was actually cheaper to go to Office Depot than for him to print it on his printer. So I don't know if that's true for everybody, but you might want to look into Office Depot and what they would charge for it. And just so you know, if maybe going to Office Depot might be better, but I would still want to have the ability to do it at home or at my office, just so when I need it done in a pinch. I'm not sure the Office Depot lead time on that, but it might be a good option for some of you to definitely take a look at. So anyways, July 28th, Gordon Day. July 31st, Tamara Labin, I believe that's right. Anyway, she's an amazing broker from Florida. I'm so excited to have her on the call with us. And that's going to be July 31st at 9 a.m. So you'll definitely want to join us for those, because I love hearing from our clients and what they're doing and how they're doing it. And, and I'll tell you, the training that I'm doing here is based on everyone's feedback. So in none of the training that I'm doing with you here today, am I giving you stuff that is not stuff from our clients. All right. So just keep in mind, everything I'm training on you on here today is a distillation of best practices across all the different tool sets that we have, putting it all together for you so that you don't have to wonder, so that you don't have to sit there and try to recreate the wheel. I know some of you are going to try to do it anyways. I know some of you are going to try and recreate the wheel. You're going to spend a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of aggravation when you could just follow the blueprint that we've already got for you. Now, the next link, let me just also highlight this link. And I put this into the chat. So if you're logged in, you should see this. If you're live, listingtoleads.com/listings. All right. Again, listingtoleads.com/listings. And this is a great page. And this is kind of the introductory page of why and how to make sure that you're marketing and listing every single week to grow your business cost effectively, time effectively, emotionally effectively, so that you're not trying to recreate the wheel every single week, that you're not trying with what I'm doing with Gordon, what Craig Johnson is doing, what Yi is doing. It's the same thing every single week. They're just picking new listings. They're running the ads. They're doing the posts. They're doing the emails. Right? We got the nearby homeowner letter. If you're doing an open house, or you can use the nearby homeowner letter for you just listed, you're coming soon. So it's all in the blueprint. You don't need to have 15 other programs. All right. Essentially, all you need is a CRM. If you had a CRM, Listings to Leads, you could literally use Listings to Leads as a CRM if you don't have one. With our AI text follow-up, that is absolutely phenomenal. The AI text follow-up is qualifying leads at about a rate of 11 to 12%, which is amazing. All right, 11 to 12% qualification. And that's not even counting the follow-up that the agents do. So the AI text qualifies some, the standard follow-up from the agent will qualify more. And then the combination is absolutely phenomenal. But again, the goal is consistency and making sure that you got enough gas in the tank, because if you're not generating enough leads, Well, follow-up falls apart because if you only have 1 or 2 leads a day coming in, or maybe 4 to 5 leads a week coming in, that's not enough. That's not enough oxygen to get the fire going. It's not enough gas to get your car going. It's just not enough. All right. So at listingstoleads.com/listings, you're going to see images for coming soon, just listed, active, and open house. And you can click on any one of these, and it will take you to the essentially like the write-up for that status. Now, this is for your listing or borrowed. And I essentially referred to that earlier when I said every single week, you need to make sure you're marketing a listing. This is just drop dead, without question, the easiest, most cost-effective way to grow your business. So we're going to be going through this today. Now, I've got here just listed, but the same principles apply for coming soon, just listed, active, or open house. And one more thing about borrowing a listing. So if you want to borrow a listing to market this week because you don't have one to market, it doesn't have to be a new listing. It can be on the market for a month. You could maybe think about getting a price reduced because those are great right now in this market. People know there's a lot of listings that are reduced. So you might find a listing that has a recent price reduction from another agent in your office. I've seen agents borrow listings from other agents in different companies. All right. Price reduce might be a great one because that agent is going to be very excited about you helping market their listing. And I know when Yee calls up agents, if she can market their listing, usually, 8 to 9 times out of 10, they are, I don't want to say ecstatic, but they're very happy that someone is actually calling them to help market that property because they know they got to get that thing sold. They got to get that property sold. And so if you're going to sit there and help them out and you are going to be benefiting in the process, it's a win-win situation for everybody. So you'll see here, everything on this page is also in Listings to Leads. So this is, again, listingstoleads.com/listings. And we're going to go through the Facebook ads, right? We're going to talk about follow-up, social media posts, and then Instagram, Facebook stories, TikTok, YouTube shorts, and then all the way down. So let's get to it. Let's go back into Listings to Leads. Let's go to the listings dashboard. The other thing recently I've done is I've changed drinking so much coffee to definitely drinking a lot more water. One thing you'll notice when you start walking, man, I'm telling you, you need a lot more water. So normally when I'm drinking my coffee, in fact, I need to get a bigger glass. Looks like you can't see the glass. There you go. But man, I need to get a bigger glass of water for my calls here. So to get a listing into your account, if you're going to borrow a listing, the easiest way to get it to your account is go to Add Listing, grab listing, and put in the zip code, MLS ID number. If it's not your listing, uncheck this box, click grab, and that will pull the listing into your account. So that's half the battle. Like literally getting the listing, getting it into your account, where every single week, oh my God, it's actually depressing to me when I log into somebody's account and they don't have a new listing in there for a month. They haven't run any ads. And I know because, they may say something like, oh my God, I don't have any business. I can't get leads to follow up with me, or, I can't, I don't have any buyers. I don't have any listings. Well, it's because you're not putting yourself out there. All right. How are people supposed to know who you are if they never see you? And it's funny because with Gordon, I got other clients in his market and they tell me, my God, I see Gordon everywhere. It's like, I can't get on Facebook or Instagram without seeing Gordon's ads and posts because he's consistent and they're seeing him every single day on social media. And that's how you want the buyers and sellers in your area to be thinking about you, where it's like, my gosh, after, and it doesn't happen in 1 week. You got to make sure we keep this up week after week after week. And it just builds. It builds on each other. Every week builds on the last week. Facebook gets better with what you're doing. Your audience gets more in tune with what you're doing, and you're going to start engaging and converting more leads. And again, Gordon, Craig, Yee, they're talking to new people every single week, almost literally every single day, pretty much. but then every single week they are getting commitments from the buyers and sellers to work with them. And that's because of the follow-up and the consistency. Now, once your listing is in your account, and if you need help with that, get with our support team. I will click on the green market listing button. And you're going to land in the overview. This is just a quick spot to make sure that we are all on the same page. If you click view step-by-step guide, that's going to take you to the same page we were just looking at. The beautiful thing about this is not a support page. This is a page where if you and I were sitting together and I was walking you through and talking you through what to do, that's what this page is. So there's a video here, a little summary, and then all the different activities I want you to do. And I walk you through what to do, why to do it, what the benefit is. So make sure you get on that. That's a great little resource. We got a checklist, so I can click download checklist. And boom, bada bing, it's going to pop up right there. And the checklist is divided into social media free and paid. Now we're going to walk through all of this today in this call. Walks through how to activate your database and make sure your database, right? Again, so many people like to go out and generate leads, but then they ignore their database. It kills me sometimes. I talk to an agent and I'll say, hey, what's your plan with your database? How often do you call through your database? How often do you actually email your database? Something that's not just your standard follow-up emails, but something specific as it relates to them. And then we got farm and circle prospecting. And this is one of another phenomenal ways to get more listings. So I'm going to close that. So you see where that is there. First thing we're going to do is a Facebook and Instagram ad. Make sure you refer back to the link I gave you a little bit earlier for a lot more discussion on this, because you can waste a lot of money. I don't want you wasting money. If you start with the ads, all right, and I'll tell you, one of the key things is staying consistent. Talked to a client this past weekend, and I told him, I said, listen, you got to be spending about $500 a month on Facebook ads. I don't care, what programs you're looking at or who you're talking to or whatever it is. Very standard. And now we got clients that do $1,000, $2,000 a month on Facebook ads because they started small, they stayed consistent, they got the leads, they started engaging, they converted. And now they know, hey, this is a phenomenal way to bring more people into my database to engage and get more listings and buyers. And they step up. Maybe they start at $50 a week in the beginning, and they go from 50 to 75, 75 to 100, 100 to 125. And if you can get to $125 a week, you are going, in fact, check this out right here. You see these two ads right here? These are currently live and running. $239 a lead. 36 leads, $85. That ad's going to end tomorrow. And I talked to the agent, and we're going to be running these ads, this ad again. What we're going to do is we're going to extend the ad. So a little later today, we'll go in there and we're going to click this edit icon. We're going to scroll down to budget. We're going to increase the budget. We're going to increase the ending, or we're going to move out the ending date so that this ad doesn't stop, right? $239 a lead. I want that ad to keep running. And so when you take a look at the video that I gave you in the 10 commandments of Facebook ads, you're going to see all the great information on that. And then you got the other listing here. Check this out. 24 leads, $1.74 per lead. That's name, email, phone number, and purchase time frame. And he told me over the weekend, one of the leads that committed to working with him from last week has a home to sell. All right. 20 to 40% of these buyer leads have a home, and a lot of them are going to be selling that. And if they're, if they live in the area already, you're going to be starting to get more. In fact, he's had a few clients. I think he's already got one double-ended. He's got another one that he's looking to double end, and maybe another one here. And this is all March, April, May, June, July. So over 2.5 million in contract, multiple double endings, multiple buyers, multiple listings starting within 2 months, and 5 months into it, we're still going strong, or he's going strong. So with the Facebook ad, all right, again, I click Facebook and Instagram ad. All you have to do is confirm location. I recommend you don't add any location to it in the beginning, especially if you're starting out. Keep it simple. All right. Dennis Wheeler says, I've been having very good luck with the reports it produces. Dennis, are you? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Any more feedback? Any successes or any pro tips you want to share with us? I'd love to hear from you. So again, confirm location. Do not touch radius. In fact, we're going to put radius in advanced options because I don't want you messing with it. Lifetime budget of 35. I recommend going up as high as you can, up to 125 a week. Now, you'll see in the Facebook 10 Commandments, you can do 2 to 3 listings a week and cut that budget to like, I like to say 50 minimum. So if you got 3 listings you're going to market, then do $50 each. That's $150. If you got 2 listings you're going to market, maybe do $65 a week, or 60 on one and 65 on the other. And if you got 1 listing, 35 is just the bare minimum. 50 is what I would call the minimum. But again, I got clients that do 300 a week. 300 a week. Now, you don't start out that way, but I'm going to say 125. That's 1,025. There we go. The start and end date will be for 1 week. Perfect. No problem. I got my template right here. Now I can change the template if I want to. I can change the image. I can even do a video. I highly recommend that you use this template here and just click create ad. Don't overcomplicate it. There's a lot of other things that you can do. You can do video view ads. You can do traffic. You can do retargeting. You can do custom audiences. He does have his pixel in here as well. Get with our support team on getting your pixel into the account if you need to. But even if you don't have that, all you have to do is what I just showed you right there. So that will be live soon. And a little later, you can click view and check it out. Well, here, let me show you. Yeah, so it'll take a few minutes for the view to be active. But once it is, I'll show you on a previous ad what it looks like. So I'll click the view icon right there. And if you are not subscribed to our AI text follow-up and you don't have AI text follow-up with your current CRM, I highly recommend you use ours. Highly recommend it because, the idea of you dropping everything that you're doing, calling these leads in real time as they're coming in is a massive lift. I mean, it's distracting. You're in a showing, you're trying to get a project done, you're doing something, and then all of a sudden you get a lead. Am I really supposed to drop everything and call that lead right then? Now, in the old days, it would have been yes, because you didn't have anything backing you up. But now with AI text follow-up, as soon as that lead comes in, the AI text follow-up is going to engage it. And then one of the side benefits of that is if the phone number is bad, you're going to know right away because the AI text will let you know, hey, this lead came in, but the number was no good. Or this lead came in, but it's a landline. Or what happens 75 to over 80% of the time, right? With E, it's 90%. We are engaged now with that lead. Beautiful. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. And that way you can take your follow-up and do it for 1 to 2 hours a day, whatever it is that you're going to do. Gordon does it from 9 a.m. to 10:30 and then 11 to 12. That's his kind of lead call up, follow-up calls, database calls, client calls. He does all those calls in the morning. Yi does her lead follow-up from 7 to 8 p.m. in the evening. So when you do the follow-up really doesn't matter. It just matters when it's a good time for you. What matters is that you stay absolutely consistent, because by staying consistent, you're also able to see really fast what works and what doesn't work. And again, that is why you want to make sure you got enough gas in the tank, because if you're only generating 1 to 2 leads a day, you're never going to learn what kind of follow-up really works. All right. Is the pixel we have installed on a website pixel? Yeah. It's just right in your Facebook pixel. So you can get with support on that. For all of you on this call, a lot of you may not even know what the hell is a pixel. And I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, because it's a great thing to have, but you don't need it to succeed. So don't be one of those people, and I'm absolutely guilty of this, and I'm getting a lot better at it, where when I need to get something done, I'm going to just do it. I'm not going to wait till it's perfect anymore. All right. As long as I've got the minimum I need to get success, I'm going to start going, and I will get better, and I will make it better, and I will get done what I need to get done as I'm doing it. But I don't want to see, because what will happen is if you wait until you have all these things that are absolutely perfect, you're going to be waiting another 2 to 3 months because you're busy, you drop the ball, you don't get it done. You don't need any of that. All you need to do is get a listing. That's the most important thing. A pixel is great, but borrowing a listing when you need to, having a listing to market, that is 10 times more important than a pixel all day long. All day long. Because if you don't have a listing to market, you got no visibility. You got no engagement. You've got no leads. So what is a pixel doing for you? So get into the discipline of making sure that you got a listing every single week to market. And then as you're doing that, and as you get comfortable, and as you get better at doing that, then you can worry about the pixel. All right. You can worry about then you can fine tune all that great stuff as you are generating leads and you're following up. So anyways, we are good to go in the ad. It literally takes you about 5 seconds to do. I'm going to turn it off. Next up is social media post. So this will post to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, and X. 5 great platforms. This will typically happen automatically because when you sign up for listings to leads, or you get listings to leads from your lender, your broker, your title company, and you go through the get started wizard or the onboarding wizard that just walks through the setup in like about 5 minutes. This is one of the things that is set up and automated for you. But if you need to, you can just click post now or schedule. You can connect accounts. You can edit the image. So I'm going to use that image here. And notice it says new construction. So when you don't have a listing to market, and one of the things, and you'll see this at listingstoleads.com/listings that we were looking at earlier. Think of this as your deal of the week, right? Every week, I want to have a deal of the week, and that's going to be the primary listing that I am promoting this week. And sometimes it's not even going to be your listing, because when you got a listing that's been on the market for a while, I can't keep just pushing that listing out all the time. I got to have other inventory. That'd be like a shoe salesman or a car salesman or a florist just pushing the same flower, the same car, the same shoe week after week after week. At some point, people are like, dude, I've seen it. All right. You got to show me something new. And that's why having that deal of the week, that listing of the week to market is so critical. So I'll just click save after I selected that new template. And beautiful. There we go. And again, if you need to, you can click post now or schedule when it's on your social media. But let's go take a look at one. So once it's on your social media, people can click the image, they can click the link, they go right back to your single property website. Now, the posts are absolutely free. They don't generate a lot of leads, but they're great for all the people on your page to see the listing. And again, look at that. Community video, 3D tour, property video, professional photos, all that great stuff. The next item for social media is to share on Seller. This is one of the best ways to get listings because it's so easy. What we want to do is, now if it's your listing, the beautiful thing about this is, no, it's got to be your listing. If you're borrowing a listing, this will actually be shaded, so you won't be able to use it because it's not your listing. The seller is not your client. But if you are a listing agent, the beautiful thing about this is this will go to the seller from the very first time it enters into your Listings to Leads account. So maybe it's just listed or active, open house, pending, just sold. 5 times we are going to be in front of our seller sphere of influence on social media, and email is telling the most beautiful story there is. It's telling the story of us marketing their friend's listing, getting it into contract, and getting it sold. And that is it's beautiful because now all of our seller sphere of influence is going to be, man, Scott Pierce is the guy, right? I saw him on on Frank's Facebook page, right? Frank and Susan's Facebook page, a couple of months ago when it was first listed, and then they had an open house, I remember, and then I remember it went into contract, and then it sold, and all the way through, these Facebook posts are being put up there by the seller, and they link right to the single property website. You're going to get the seller's friends commenting. They're going to be liking it. They're going to be sharing it. The email that we've got as well, people are going to click through the email. They're going to get to the single property website, and you can generate phenomenal. You get Dustin Fox, right? The author of 6 Weeks to Agent Success. He had a seller ask him for it. He remembered that this was in listings to leads, sent it to the seller, got buyers, got listings. Phenomenal. So what you're going to do is click send to seller. You're going to drop in the seller's email address right here, like you see, and their salutation. Click the green send button. And you're going to do this for the email as well. So right below the seller social media post is the e-flyer for the seller. And look at this. For all you listing agents, this is such a phenomenal tool. This is money. This is so money, right? Look, check this out. People click through there. They go right to the single property website. And what's really cool is get your free home value estimate. So all their friends are going to see that link. And that's going to go to what is your home worth landing page. And then right there, click for my review. So imagine, right? They get the e-flyer when it was just listed or active. Maybe they get the e-flyer again when it's an open house. They get the e-flyer again when it's pending and sold. And it's that repetition of visibility within the seller sphere of influence. And they're going to start clicking more. Right? At some point, they're going to be like, oh, wow, right? Scott again. Frank sent me the e-flyer. I saw the post on Frank's Facebook page, one time, then I saw it a second time, I saw it a third time, and maybe the third or the fourth time I start clicking through, I start commenting, I start liking, and now we can see here all the great. And it looks like I got somebody else's reviews in here. Very nice person saying quick response. Love this lady and thank you very. I don't know where these are coming in from. That's kind of funny. Anyways, testimonial tree. All right. Well, the reviews can come in from Zillow, Google, and testimonial tree. So if you don't have your client review website connected yet, I'll point that out. In fact, you'll see here, client reviews, get to the mastermind group, get with our support team. But for both of them, you're just going to click the green send to seller button, send it to the seller. And let me show you. Give me a second here. I'm going to bring up on my other monitor. I think I sent it to myself. Let's see here. There we go. So the seller's going to get a version, one email for the social media post, one email for the e-flyer. You are going to be CC'd on these emails as well. And here's the deal. Call the seller up and you're going to say something like, hey, Frank, Scott here. I want to let you know that we got your property on Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com. Just did a Facebook ad. That should be live soon. We got a lot of other great things that we're doing to market your property. But I sent you something to share on your Facebook page and something to share via email, because in this crazy changing market, we want to make sure that we don't skip or that we don't miss anybody. And you likely know people who know people that would love to move into the area. So again, I don't want to leave any stones unturned. If you can just copy and paste that into your Facebook page, and then for the e-flyer, if you want to share that to people that you know, that would be phenomenal. And most of the time, if not all the time, the sellers are going to think you're an absolute rock star. They're going to absolutely love it. So, and it's just free leads for you. Absolutely free leads for you. One of the things I would recommend is on the social media post is I would go like the post on their page, maybe even leave a quick comment like looks great, even if that's it. That way, if any of their friends and family and colleagues and so on comment on that post, you'll get notified. And as appropriate, you can respond if they say something like beautiful pics or looks great or are you having an open houses or whatever it is. You can comment and start engaging with their sphere of influence absolutely free and easy. All right. Next up is the nearby homeowner letter. This is one of the best tools for door knocking or just getting seller leads. Now, I see so many, in fact, I just saw one this morning, right? What are 30 ways to, get more business from your open house or something? And pretty much they had like 4 to 5 different vendors that were, for the open house sign in form, go to this company. Oh, for this, go to that company. I'm like, oh my God, we got everything in Listings to Leads pretty much that is in there. Now there's a few things like, bottled water or something like that, branded to you that you might want to do that. We don't have bottled water for you. I apologize. But and one of them was invite the neighbors to the open house. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're having an open house, or even if it's just listed, even if it's active, coming soon, every single status, this letter, whether you mail it, door knock, or door drop it, this letter is absolutely phenomenal. If you are borrowing a listing, I would try to make sure I'm doing an open house as often as possible. I know it's a little bit slow right now with the summer, right? July, never the best time to be doing open houses. And one little tip, this is not an open house webinar, so I'm not going to get too much into open houses, but I will say, I went to 3 open houses yesterday. All 3 of them must have heard bring food to the open house. But here's the deal. If you're going to bring food to an open house, all 3 of them had cookies from like Safeway, Costco, whatever it was. And I should have taken a picture. They still had them sitting on the countertop in the clear plastic box, the one that flips open, you can grab the cookies. I'm like, oh my God, people, listen, this is not how you do it. All right. And in fact, cookies are okay, but for a lot of people, and a few other people walked through and they just kind of looked at the cookies and it was like, oh, cheap Costco cookies, right? Too bad my 6-year-old's not here because they may have liked one. Although I don't know if I want my 6-year-old eating Costco cookies and bouncing off the wall while we're going out looking at homes. But yeah, you got to do a little bit better than that. We talk about that in fact, we got an open house call coming soon that you can be a part of leadgenwebinars.com, where we go through open house like crazy. I think we got the best blueprint in the industry for leveraging open houses, yours or borrowed, to get buyers and listings. But this nearby homeowner letter, if you got more time than money, I would door knock 200 homes with this letter around my listing. All right. This is such a phenomenal letter. Now you can mail it. There is a company called Zaire Mail. Let me bring them up right here real quick. Zaire Mail. You've also got Mailbox Power. You've got Thanks.io. So there's a lot of mailing services that you can use. The key with mailing this, if you're going to mail that letter, is the font on the envelope has to look like it's handwritten font. A lot of times clients will just do it themselves. A lot of times they'll send it out to something like Zaire Mail where they've got handwritten fonts. What I like about Zaire Mail is you don't need an account. So, I mean, you need an account, but I don't need a monthly subscription. It's just, mailing by mailing by mailing. Super easy to use. So with some of these companies, I need to have like a $40, $50, $100, $150 subscription every single month, right? Just kill me now. All right. How many more subscriptions do I need? The thing about Zaire Mail, the first time I tried it, literally, and this gets back to Gordon Day earlier. It is so easy to engineer the most amazing process in the planet. But man, so often that can it just kills you trying to implement it. And you're sitting there going, man, I was going to do this crazy thing. And it was and that was 2 weeks ago and I still don't have it done. with Zaire Mail. I got in and out. I got the order, handwritten font, order out the door in literally 10 to 15 minutes from the first time I ever tried it. Because, Dustin had talked about it. Dustin Fox uses this one as well. I believe he's used them for quite a long time. And so I was like, just let me try it. And I was pretty impressed with how quick and easy I was able to, as a brand new person who had never been in it before, to get a letter out the door. So really appreciated that. And so Dennis here, that's unfortunately, Dennis, that's not a clickable link. But yeah, if you search on Amazon, thermal binding capacity, right, whatever, it's $57. There's probably a few different versions of them. And Tony was asking, what have I missed? Tony, we've got the complete marketing plan to get your home sold. And it's 26 pages. People use it in the listing presentation. They use it to go after expireds and FSBOs. And so it's 26 pages and you got to bind it somehow. And so a thermal binder is a phenomenal. Now, if it's in a listing presentation, I actually get a leather binder and I put it in there, not thermal bound, but just like a 3-hole punch kind of bound. All right, let's get back into marketing listings. So this nearby homeowner letter, like I said, I would door knock this letter myself. I love door knocking. I've gone door knocking with clients before. And the biggest problem with door knocking is not having something to talk to the homeowner about. So for all you agents that are right now, you're a little bit shy, not shy. You don't have business coming in. All right. Your business is very light. Find a listing to hold open. Find a listing to hold open. Go to listingtoleads.com/open house. Again, that's listingtoleads.com/open house. There's our open house marketing blueprint for both how to market an open house for your listing or borrowed, and how to do the open house to convert buyers and sellers from the visitors. And this letter right here is such a game changer. This letter will get you talking to more neighbors. And if you're the listing agent, you can use it at every status you want. We also have postcards and door hangers. Where does that landing page go? All right, real quickly, let me just mention the postcards and door hangers. They follow the same pattern as the nearby homeowner letter. So they all go to the same place. And let's let it download. Here's the front and here's the back. I will open up the front of the postcard. I will open up the back of the postcard. And let me make it a little bit bigger so we can all see it. So the top part of the nearby homeowner letter and the front of the postcard go to the single property website. So when I get your postcard for your new just listed listing, notice how beautiful that looks. It's not about me. One of the books I definitely recommend everybody read is Jordan Cohen's book, Agent Edge. Such a powerful book because, like Listing to Leads, he keeps it so easy. All right. Again, there's a million things you can do to fine tune and customize and this and that, which is great when you're making money. When I am making money, I will start fine tuning things. But in the beginning, I need to keep it simple because I need to be able to repeat it. I need to be able to scale it. And I don't want to be running a tech operation trying to cobble together 5 or 6 other programs to have this like nirvana marketing system. You don't need it. You don't need it. What you need is Listing to Leads. Now, you can use Listing to Leads as your CRM. We got the AI text. We got the email follow-up. You can add notes. You can log calls. You can set activities for the future. You can do all that in Listing to Leads. All of that can be done in Listing to Leads. And if you got MLS access, I got clients that don't even have a website. Why do you need a website, right? Who goes to your website nowadays? Like most agent websites, aside from being, a little bit of information about you, but do people really go to your website? No, they go to your Facebook profile, your Instagram profile, your TikTok profile. And we've got link in bio for all of those, which is phenomenal. But the back of the postcard is, again, this would be like the bottom part of the nearby homeowner letter, and that goes to a this landing page right here. So it goes to the free home values landing page in your Listings to Leads account. So yeah, postcards, door hangers, nearby homeowner letter, they're all essentially the same thing in just different formats. So one's a letter, one's a postcard, and one's a door hanger. If you're using a program like RedX or MyPlus Leads or Active Prospect, man, I'm blanking. There's others as well, right? The dialers. And you're pulling a list to Circle Prospect with the nearby homeowner letter or the postcard or the door hangers, and you got the phone numbers, and you're going and you got the, you scrub it against the DNC. This is a phenomenal script. All right, you might call up the, hey, y'all, call Scott here at L2L Realty, and just want to let you know that 5530 Douglas Boulevard just listed for sale, and it's just a few blocks away from you. I sent you a letter with a link to the single property website with all the photos and details, and I just want to make sure that you got that. Super easy. Even if you get them on the phone and they're not that crazy about talking with you, that you let them know about a property right near them listed for sale. Again, I've had clients tell me this is a great conversation starter for people in the area. And the really cool thing about it is if you have them on the phone, right, and you actually get a chance to talk with them, what you're trying to do here is get to this part right here. And now you could do this around an open house. That's not even your open house. So if you borrow a listing to hold open, you can use the nearby homeowner letter, but you could also Circle Prospect, because at the end of it here, when this home sells, it will affect the value of your home and others in the area. Would Scott@listingstoleads.com be the best email to send that updated home value to when it's ready? Because again, if you're Circle Prospecting, you pull the data from a program like MyPlus Leads, you're going to have the name, email, phone number. You can scrub it against the DNC. So you're going to have their email. You got their phone number. You call them up, go through the script, offer the home value, confirm the email, get more leads. Next up is the e-flyer for your database. Now we've only got 3 more minutes. I will try to make sure I get this done in the next 7 to 10 minutes. I will be a little bit quick. I apologize for maybe talking too long in the beginning. The e-flyer for your database, again, another very powerful tool. This was a tool that I worked with top agents to create. And this will link to the property website. We're letting the people know, again, your listing or borrowed, you can use this tool, and you should. This might be your deal of the week. This might be your listing. This might just be the listing that you're marketing this week. And then we let them know that when the home is sold, it'll affect their home's value. They can click there. And like you saw earlier, we got the Listings to Leads lead gen signature at the bottom. And so I can either send it to all the leads in my account. So you can see here, I can select all, or I can say, just send it to the leads that I've generated from this listing. And I don't see my listing here. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I'm just missing it, but I'll say buyer leads and click send. That'll get sent to all your buyer leads. You can also click here to copy code, copy code to signature. Now this, when it says copy code, that means we're going to copy and recreate this email in just a couple of clicks. I'm going to select copy for Follow Up Boss, FUB. It copied. So boom, that's all you need to do. Go to your CRM, whatever CRM that you're using, go to navigate to where you send out an email. And then I'm going to click. The only box that's a little bit weird is there's going to be a box up here in the editor, either insert HTML or insert source. Pop it up, paste what we copied from Listings to Leads. And there we go. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Got my slideshow. I got the link to the home value landing page my signature, and then send that out from Follow Up Boss. We've got a database call script. So we want to make sure that we call through our database. And the beautiful thing about this is great little introduction, right? Hey, Yakov, Scott here, LDL Realty. Just want to let you know that 5530 Douglas Boulevard just listed for sale. And I sent you an email with the link to the property website with all the photos and details. I just want to make sure you got that in this crazy market. If you need, you can text 1001 to 25678 to get all the photos and virtual tour sent to you. And notice here, so when we get past that part, the goal of this also is either for homeowners near the property. Well, when this home sells, it's going to affect your home value and others in the area. Would scott@listingsleads.com be the best email to send that to? No, then there's a second option. If they own a home not near the listing, and you'll know that because they're in your database and you'll probably have the home that they own. I don't know if you're interested, but I do free CMAs for all my clients and VIPs. And I know you're not looking to sell right now, but I would love to do a quick report for you to keep tabs on your home and what it's doing month over month. It's good for me because it keeps me up on what's going on. If you're interested, I'd love to send it to you. Would scott@listingsleads.com be the best email to send it to? And then there's a third option for the script for your database, and that is that they are a buyer lead. And then you can ask them if you can add them to your VIP list of coming soon or off-market listings. And because again, I know you're not looking to buy right now, but I would love to add you to my VIP list of coming soon and off-market listings as they become available. I know most of you, if you're in a real estate office, you're always and if you go to your office meetings and you hear from other agents about, hey, I got a new listing in Whitney Oaks coming soon. It's a 4.3. It was just remodeled. The seller's cleaning it up, so it's going to be available starting August 15th. If you got any buyers for it, right, let me know. And so that's what we're talking about. It's off market because it's coming soon. It's not on the market now. I may not be able to show you the listing quite yet, but it's something that I can get you more information about if you are interested. You see how that works? Next up is a short form video script. Absolutely easy. And you can even green screen this, right? Go to TikTok, use the green screen app, get the single property website behind you as the green screen image. Or maybe you do a screen recording of you scrolling down the single property website. You could go out to the listing. Again, this is for yours or borrowed. So get this done. Get it done. The easiest way would be right at your office. Use TikTok green screen app. And then from there, you can actually download it and upload it to Instagram. I don't think Instagram, oh my gosh, I got the hiccups. I don't think Instagram has green screen, do they? I know things are changing all the time. And I'll look it up a little bit later, but TikTok does, and it's so easy to use. So easy. You'll see here your single property website, right? The virtual tour. The only difference between a virtual tour and a single property website is on the virtual tour, the images they do a little pan and zoom. On the single property website, they don't. So they're essentially the same thing. The great thing about the single property website is, look at these domains that you get. Now, this one's kind of lame, right? 5530douglas.ishomenow.com. But we've got the best listing, America's best listing, world's best listing, beautiful home. So we got these great domains that every single listing gets assigned to. You can even customize them. You can use your own domains as well. But to have a beautiful, powerful domain, street address .thebestlisting.com, .worldsbestlisting, .america's best listing, all these amazing domains to really give a lot more authority and a lot more oomph to your marketing. Open house sign-in form. All right, we covered that in our open house training. The last two things I want to make sure that we hit here before I let you all go is, if you are the listing agent, get the text writer on your yard sign. You also want to make sure you get the status. You see this right here? This should be on the top of your yard sign. So at the top of your yard sign should say, coming soon, just listed, for sale, open house. If you got a pending listing and you're not doing this, oh my God, if you got a pending listing and you're not doing this, you are missing out on some of the best seller leads out there. So what you're going to do is you're going to get from your association, typically your association, your realtor association, will have those status writers. If you don't have text IVR from another company or with listings to leads, I highly recommend that you get it. And then these codes, so this text 10001, that number, that property ID 10001 stays with your account. So when I get a rider like this built or produced, I can move it from listing to listing to listing into the future. So that $25 investment for a yard sign, or I should say a sign writer, that I can now use, right? So I got the status above the arm, I got this below the arm, and then I got my regular sign. This will help you get more leads. And if you pair those two things up with the listing flyers, and again, we cover this, you'll see this on the write-up page in the overview. These flyers, they're like little Facebook ads, not little, they're 8.5 by 11, but they're like Facebook ads on paper. Check this out. And then we will be done. So we're almost done here. Apologize for going a little bit long and everybody's got things that they're doing, but check this out. Beautiful photos, QR code. You got the URL, got the text code, and then need to sell before you buy, go to, and then go here. And that's the free home value landing page in your Listings to Leads account. Just click landing pages. It's the very first landing page on the top row. All right, anything. Now we have other things down here, blog post, Craigslist, QR code, traffic report, YouTube videos. So a lot of other things here as well, but the things that we just covered are the main things that are going to really move the needle for you and help generate more buyers and more sellers, whether it's your listing or a listing that you're borrowing. All right, any quick questions before we go? Get on with our day. Make sure, again, one of the most important decisions you're going to make this week is what listing to market. What listing to market. If you got to call 2 or 3 agents up to get that listing in your account, call 2 or 3 agents up. What I would do is look at my market, what properties are selling the fastest or the best or for the most money, find some current listings that meet that criteria. As much as possible. We're not going to be able to get, every single listing, but we want to get the best listing that we can. Make sure it's got good photos. I don't want to see any empty houses or agent produced photos. I want professional photos of a good looking property, and I want you to be marketing it. The property you pick will be one of the most important decisions you make this week, because that's going to be the difference between great performing marketing and marketing that's going to be just kind of because if your inventory is the marketing is not going to be able to help it that much. I mean, it will, but just I want to be as efficient and move the needle as much as humanly possible. I don't have time to screw around. All right. Quick questions. Any questions before we go? Make sure to don't forget your affiliate link, 15% recurring, no cap, no limit. Just click the affiliate link link in your Listings to Leads account, and you'll see here. I can copy this, share this with people. We got marketing invites, so if you want to email to send out to your group, if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, if you are an influencer, we got a lot of people that refer their people to us. I absolutely love it. We got print flyers, social media posts, and emails. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you don't have any other questions, get to the mastermind group, get with our support team, let us know how we can help, and we'll talk to you soon.